Okay, class, here's question number 2. Now it says John can answer 30 phone calls in 1/4 hour or 15 minutes. Now let's look at a clock. You have your 12, 3, 6, 9. Now if we look at it, it's in 4 pieces. Now, how many minutes are there in an hour? 60 minutes. Here's 1/4, that's 15 minutes. Here's a second quarter, now we have 30 minutes. Here's the third quarter, that's 45 minutes. And then finally, we have the last quarter, which would equal 60 minutes. So every quarter is 15 minutes. So what I'm saying right now is that John can answer 30 calls in 15 minutes. How many calls can he answer in? Now don't put 1 hour here, because this is not an hour. It's in minutes. Let's ask ourselves again, how many minutes are in an hour? 60 minutes. Now, I can do my cross multiplication, and I get 1800 is equal to 15x, or 15x equals 1800, which is a little easier to look at. 15x equals 1800, divide by 15, divide by 15. So I'll put it in this form because it's a little easier to work with right now. Can 15 go to 1? No. To 18, yes. 1 time. Have remainder of 3. Drop my 0. 2. That's also 30. See if I can get it to fit in there. 0. Drop this other 0. Now 15 goes in there 0 times. Don't forget that last 0, because we're dividing into 1800. So what we have is he can answer 120 calls in 60 minutes. But again, let's look at this problem, ask ourselves a question. He can do 30 calls, I'll put a C, in 15 minutes. And I need to know about 60 minutes. How much? Now yes, I can do the other thing, cross multiplication, but again, look at the relationship. If you know how to tell time, or if you have a clock nearby, you can look and say, if a quarter hour is 15 minutes, that means 2 quarters, or half an hour, is 30 minutes. 3 quarters, 3 over 4, would be 45 minutes. And a whole hour is 60 minutes. So 1/4 is 15. 2 quarters, or 1/2, is half an hour. We all know that, 30 minutes. Then we have 3 quarters is 45 minutes. So with, let's see, here's 1/4, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. Here is my 4 quarters. So again, let me write the problem down. I want to know what can he do in 60 minutes. Well, I know that to get from 15 minutes to 60 minutes, I can multiply times 4, or if I know my clock, that's 4 quarters. That means I would have to add it 4 times. So that means I have to add this to itself 4 times, or multiply it times 4. And that's why you can also get 120 right here. So while this problem may look a little difficult, we need to look and see exactly what they're asking us and what information they're giving us, okay? And again, unit rate. Why did I go to an hour? That's one thing that maybe I skipped right now. It says, what is his unit rate for answering phone calls per hour? Per 1 hour. 1 hour. 1 hour. Well, we don't have the information about him working for an hour. We have the information for 15 minutes. So I think I had mentioned in my unit rates video that sometimes we're given information and we don't have that 1 unit, the 1 hour. And this is where people might get confused, because you might say, oh, but we're not working with an hour, we're working with 60 minutes. But if we stop and think, these are the same thing, except this right here, let me use a different color. is not an hour. It's only part of an hour. So we need to boost it up, make it bigger into 1 hour, and this has to follow the same thing. Because he worked for an hour. Doesn't mean he stopped answering calls. At 30 minutes, he answered 60. At 45 minutes, he answered 90. And at 1 hour, he answered 120 calls. Just like we figured out here and here and here. Okay? So, look at what the information is that you're given. Sometimes you're not given enough to go backwards or reduce down to 1 unit rate. You have to work it up and make it bigger to make the 1 unit rate. And here we have the perfect example of a quarter hour, and we need to find an hour. I know there's a bunch of notes on here, sorry about that, but I think that's a pretty good explanation.